How's it going, YouTube? Got FourthStarTCG here, and I have another video for you. I have another PSA submission. Just today, PSA announced that they were jacking up their prices. Again, we've seen this movie before. We know what's happening. PSA jacks up their prices, and then about 2 weeks later, they shut down completely. I'm just joking. I don't think that's actually going to happen again. But when I'm filming this video, PSA today announced they were turning up their prices on TCG bulk by about $2 per card. So I'm sending off another PSA submission, hopefully getting all of my stuff in before those price rises. So I whipped this submission together in one day. It's a little jumbled, but it's basically just a bunch of gradable cards that I had lying around. So let's take a look and see what we've got. First up, I've got 2 copies of Misty's Tears from the FourthStarTCG Gym deck. These are all right condition. You got a little bit of stuff up in the top. Probably looking at 9s on these. This one, also pretty good condition. Off center, top to bottom, little ding there, and maybe a little ding on the back. So probably 9s on these Misty's Tears, but again, those still sell for good amounts of money. And, you know, as I mentioned in the last video, we're cracking off all of the evolutions, all the waifus, all the Pikachus that we can find, because we know how this goes. Can't be a 4-star TCG submission without an old Japanese EX, so the requisite old Japanese EX is this Cacturn EX from the Quick Construction Starter Pack. Absolutely love this card. Unlimited edition, pretty good condition here. Hoping for a 9 or a 10 on this card. Sending off a lot of Japanese holos. Do have a Delta Species Omastar, beautiful Midori Harada art here. Delta holos getting harder to find and more expensive. I've had this one for a while, pretty good condition, hoping for the PSA 10 grade. Got a Tauros from Miracle Crystal here. Awesome Hajime Kusahima art, beautiful, got the moon in the background. Moon Tauros? I don't know. Is this going to be the next Moonbryon? Probably. All right, next up we have the Team Magma's Claydol from the Magma vs. Aqua set. I love these themed trainers, and we're getting them back, or these themed Pokemon. We're getting them back. We'll be getting Team Rocket cards soon. That's going to be crazy, I'm sure, but I'll certainly be here for it. Next up, we've got a couple of cards from Mirage Forest. We have the Machamp Holo, Koki Saito art there. We have the Aggron Holo, another beautiful artwork, and these cards are all in pretty good condition. I went through and double checked them. Really want to send off Japanese holos that I think will get 10s. I think once you start getting into the 9 range for that, it's not really financially viable to grade. Nothing wrong with grading cards that aren't financially viable to grade. I've got several of them in this submission and several in almost all of my submissions. But you don't want to do that on a large scale because you then end up kind of screwing yourself. So we've got this beautiful Atsuka Nishida Meganium here from Golden Sky Silvery Ocean. Also have a lot of Golden Sky Silvery Ocean holos in this submission, which is just awesome. Got an Aerodactyl here, another Mirage Forest card, another awesome Hajime Kusahima art. Not much art being done these days by Hajime Kusahima, but still we've got this awesome stuff from the EX era to appreciate. Another awesome Koki Saito art there. We've got Dark Slowking from the Team Rocket Return set. Amazing. Team Rocket holos are super popular, so hopefully this Slowking comes back with a 10. Even though Slowking itself is not one of the most interesting holos in that set. Again, it gets very hard to find those in good condition. I've sent off most of the ones that I've acquired over the years already. We keep talking about amazing Hajime Kusahima art. How about this amazing Beautifly from Ruby and Sapphire? Love the multiple Beautifly in the background. Truly fantastic. Back into Golden Sky Silver Ocean with Porygon 2, done by Kagemaru Himeno here. Got the beautiful sunflower field in the background. Next up, Feraligatr from Golden Sky and Silver Ocean. Pretty awesome there as well. We've got the Slowbro. There we go. Slowbro, the regular Slowbro, Midori Harada from Golden Sky and Silver Ocean. Cat hairs on the card saver there. Always, if you live with cats, you know the hair gets everywhere. So this is another really nice one. Hoping for a PSA 10 on this, as I am with most of these holo cards that I'm sending off. Next up, we've got a Lugia from Shining Darkness, I believe. Got a couple of Diamond and Pearl era cards in this submission. So happy to get this off. Lugia, really nice card. I think in the past I didn't submit this card because it was surprisingly not all that valuable. It is kind of a strange artwork of Lugia in 3D CG, so I understand why it is not the preferred card of Lugia collectors, but still a really cool Lugia holo from Shining Darkness. We have 3 copies here of the Gardevoir from Dawn Dash. That is beautiful. Amazing Atsuko Nishida art. I mean, just come on. That is a perfect encapsulation of Atsuko Nishida's style. The beautiful flowers, awesome Gardevoir, flowing lines, soft style, just fantastic. So we got 3 of those to submit. Be really happy if maybe, let's say, 2 of them come back as a 10. That would be awesome. Continuing with the Diamond and Pearl holos, we have Electivire FB, the Frontier Brain Pokemon. These were basic Pokemon. Pretty cool. So, interesting art there by Hironobu Yoshida, known as the, I don't know, did Yoshida create Deoxys or did he just draw a lot of them? I'm not sure. I have a couple of really interesting cards here. These are the Rotoms from, a couple of the Rotoms from the Platinum era. Now these have the same holo pattern as the reprints, as the shinies from the Platinum era, so these have a very common edge chipping issue, and these are very, very hard to find in good condition. I picked out the best ones out of the Rotoms that I have, but these still have some issues, and I would be very surprised if any of them came back with a 10. I think you can possibly get a 10 on these, but you know, you can kind of see this, like, what happens is the card kind of flakes off, especially on the front. It flakes off, it damages easier, so unfortunately these cards get damaged just by lying around, really. Over time, it just kind of flakes off. So we also have the Fan Rotom here. This one, if anyone was going to score a 10, I think it would be this one. You can see that the flaking is starting to happen here, but it really hasn't started in earnest. And this has got a pretty clean back of the card as well. Next up, we've got the Heat Rotom. You can really see the flaking starting to happen here, so probably a 9, if not an 8 on this card, I would think. But yeah, cats messing with boxes and such in the background, as usual. But the Heat Rotom's still a really cool card nonetheless. I'm also submitting a non-holo Milotic. I love this artwork. Again, you've seen this as a theme throughout this submission. Awesome Hajime Kusahima art. You know, when I'm pressed for time to pull out cards to grade, I pull out all the cards I like, and chances are it ends up being illustrated by Hajime Kusahima. Fantastic. So really happy to get this off and graded. Hopefully we get the 10. Would really stink to get anything below a 10 on a non-holo card. But this does come from the Platinum era set that I bought a little while ago it was just in effectively perfect condition, as good condition as you could hope. So I was really happy with that. Next up, I I mentioned that in my last submission I was starting to do some of the black-white era. Well, I'm doing some more of it. I've got the Mewtwo EX from Psycho Drive. These are starting to go up in price. You know, PSA 10 black-white EX cards, you're looking at $50, $60 for these now. Starting to get to the point where they are very reasonable to submit to PSA. So when they start, if they stay at that price point, I'll be cracking some and sending them off as out of my deck boxes, and we'll see what they do. So we've got a Mewtwo EX. I believe this Mewtwo EX is actually one that I pulled myself a long time ago in a black-white opening. So this one probably would not get sold. This one would stay in my collection because of that. But prices are starting to come up, starting to make sense to grade those cards. And this is probably my favorite black-white EX, Groudon EX from Hail Blizzard. This Shizuru art is just incredible. This is like what blew you away when you first saw black and white EX cards with all of the jumping out of the card and breaking the box, and it was really fantastic. And then the full arts as well just took it to a whole new level. So we've got 4 of them, 4 Groudon EXs. You can never have enough Groudons. As you can tell from my last submission, big Groudon fan here. I've had this card in a PSA 10, the regular EX, for a long time. Always loved it. So we'll pick up some more for the collection there. Next up, we've got a Darkrai EX. This is another awesome Shizuru art. I mean, I wish the cards these days, the regular EXs, were illustrated more by the people who did the old black-white era cards, because they are just so amazing. You got Shizuru art there. Next up, we have Latios EX. This is from Black and White 8 Spiral Force. Truly an awesome card there. Again, Ryo Ueda, just the regular EXs and the full arts are just incredible. Next up, we have the Blaziken the Blaziken regular holo from Dark Rush. Awesome Tokia art here. Submitting a few more of these regular black and white holos, some of the more popular ones, again, just to kind of see how they do. We'll see if the prices stay the way they are, where it makes sense to submit, or if it's just time to keep them holed up in deck boxes and such until such time comes when they are valuable enough to submit. Got an awesome Articuno, really, really nice there. Again, Ryo Ueda art, just fantastic. The black and white era had a lot of really cool regular holos and regular EXs. I always liked that about the black and white era. It wasn't just kind of focus on black and white Pokemon. Throughout the black and white era, you got a lot of really popular older Pokemon. Mewtwo, Darkrai, Rayquaza, Giratina, Ho-Oh, Lugia, Articuno, all sorts of stuff in the full arts, which was awesome. Got Zapdos here, another holo, this one from Hail Blizzard. So pretty happy about that. Hopefully we'll get a 10 on this. Again, it would stink to get anything below a 10 on these black and white era cards, but I've gone through and I've picked out the best ones, so I'm pretty confident in these. All right, next up, I have cards from the X and Y era. Been holding on to these for a while, but these are awesome. These are the promos that you would get from redeeming point cards from Emerald Break. So if you open an Emerald Break pack, you'd either get a card with a 1 or a 0. If you got 3 cards with a 1, you could send it in and get this shiny Rayquaza EX promo. So they are pretty plentiful. I've had quite a few over the years. I actually did the exchange back when Emerald Break came out. Still have several sealed copies of that from when I did the original exchange. But I've purchased these off the secondary market over time. So we're sending off 6 shiny Rayquaza EX for PSA grading this time. Again, these are awesome cards. You can never go wrong with a shiny Rayquaza card, so I will gladly grade these. Continuing with the XY era, we have a couple Mega Salamence EX promos. Got 3 of them this time. I still have a few more, but I'm just submitting 3 in this submission. As I love Mega Salamence, I was sad that it never got a set card and a full art. But hopefully maybe with the upcoming Legends ZA and the new TCG sets, I think they're Mega Brave and Mega Symphonia that were recently trademarked, we'll see something that has to do with the Mega EXs come back again. So maybe we'll get a special art rare of Mega Salamence EX. That would be pretty incredible. All right, coming down to the end of this submission, 1 card from the Sun and Moon era, Dragonite GX from Miracle Twin. Again, I'm never really sure on these Sun and Moon hypers. The centering is a little bit off from left to right, and PSA should go by the totality of the border here, and it should be mostly okay, but oftentimes they only go by the outside of the border, in which case it is off center. So we'll see how this grades, but look at that texture. The Japanese hyper rares, they really just blow the English ones out of the water. This is amazing. And last but certainly not least, got a special art Zapdos EX. Really, really nice. This is one of my favorite modern cards. Just so fantastic. I've got it in English and in Japanese. Pulled it myself in English, which was an amazing experience. But picked up a Japanese copy, sending off, hopeful for the 10 will be a great addition to my modern special art collection. So that will do it for this submission, just about 45 cards that I wrangled together and I'm going to ship off to PSA very shortly. So thank you all for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe and stick around for more videos.